Magan is on, right?
Let's
The Sumerians traded with Dilmun and Magan. Okay, the Sumerians traded with them, and later the Akkadians and the
What
Babylonians
did
and the
they
Assyrians.
use? How they were trading with them? Through what?
Both by ship.
On themselves, they used to walk by ship.
No,
change
by
the point, please. Let's
by
change
ship.
the point, please. Let's change the point, please. Mr. Ted,
لا
I
لا
have
لا
one
احنا
question.
احنا يا استاذ
بس
احمد احنا
السؤال
بشيء.
يا اخوي انت
لا لا
خلاص
لا اذا كان الرجال بيقول لك انهم يعني هجنوا
عارفين،
الجمال قبل
سامعين
3000 سنه،
سمعنا.
اذا معناته انه الراجل هذا ما عنده اي معلومات اخرى حقيقيه، كيف بس
خلاص
على معلومات انا؟
خلاص نسألك. Have you been in Middle East before, Mr. Ted?
I once visited Egypt.
Okay, and now after you discover you are originally from Middle East, did you have any plan to visit it again,
It
or
would be nice if we could travel now, if it was healthy to travel. Yeah, it would be interesting to go.
yeah, I would recommend for you to visit Saudi Arabia because a lot of G Halib group there.
Yeah, I
So
would like to see it. Right.
yes, yes, we are happy to see you in Saudi.
Thank
You
you.
will like this
Thank you.
country,
Well, thank
yeah,
you. Yeah, I would. That would be really
especially
nice.
in winter. Just come and you will see a warm place,
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I live
and
in
you will discover
Arizona,
their
so it's
culture.
pretty warm here too. I live in Tucson, Arizona. Warm.
Yeah,
Mr. Ted, there is question.
I'm around the corner from you.
Oh,
دقيقة.
go ahead.
Mr. Ted, there is a question. All space, they are talking about it. Okay, and there is a headache in all space. It's making all people confusing, you know. That's I will manage the question as a percentage. Okay. Between all Hubble groups, okay, what is the percentage, okay, from each Hubble group that the branch of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, maybe in the future it will be there?
You know, we can't know, because the thing is that we have famous families, verified branches in different haplogroups all across.
Okay, what about this news? There's written in family tree that they put mention that there is a special Hubble group. They have the branch of
that is something that family tree made up for political reasons years ago. Okay, they don't have any evidence of it. You know, genealogy. Other branches have a good genealogy as well. So
you was working with them, yeah?
Not just helping them. But I got into arguments with them when they could determine the prophetic branch with certainty. I said you can't. They disagreed with me, and I still disagree with that.
Your voice is not clear, bro.
I said I got into arguments with DNA. They said that they could determine the prophetic branch of the tree with certainty, right? That they said knew what it was. You can't know.
Mr. Ted, your voice is not clear. Could you see what is the problem with the mic and repeat your answer?
Okay, hold on.
احلى شيء الجي جوجل بس ونطلع.
What about now?
يا اخوي وش فيك محاولة؟ الرجال الحين ياس يتكلم معلومات عامة، اللي يبغى يصدقها يصدقها، واللي ما يبغى يصدقها ترى السلامة في راسه.
شفت يا هيزع.
Better now.
يتكلمون جي 1 كانوا يتهاوشون على من اللي عنده الرفات الأقدم، وطلع جي جوجل هي اللي عندهم الرفات.
ايه هم الجي جوجل الرفات، بس اخر شيء طلعوا في مصر.
لا لا ما قال في مصر،
لا
قال
يا رجال
يا اخي
وداهم
فهمه يا ابو يمن، فهمه هذا غصب. اوكي ونعم في مصر، لا يحطونه في مصر.
بس تضرب طعميه، خليك ضرب طعميه لين
انا ما سمعت
ما عجبك الكلام؟ ها
لا
الكلام ما عجبك؟ ما عجبك كلام الريال؟
يا اخي
لا
انتم
الرجال
عقال
واضح
ولا
قال مصر، في مصر قال.
ما قال في مصر. انت الحين من الصبح انت الريال
يقول لك
يتكلم، يقول لك
بالخليج.
جي، تقول له لا جي 1 تبغى بس ينطقها جي 1.
انا ماني بجاي وانا ولا فحصت، انا ما ادري انا، بس انا ابغى افهم عشان
يا رب تفحص والله يجيبك عندنا يا رب.
يا رجل اطلع طعميه، حرام عليك يا اخوي.
يا عبد الله، هيزع على السلالة اس تعرف السلالة اس
موديل سيارة ده مو.
لا هو على اس انا صرفت للسلالة ملكية
صرف لي
خاصة له
من عنده. طيب الرجال راح المايك يا عبد الله، اساله.
مستر هيد جو هيد.
مستر تيد يا اخوي،
Okay,
مستر هيد.
so what I was saying was, we cannot determine which branch it is, okay? Because there are there are reliable families in all different branches, okay? So it remains a mystery, right? It remains a mystery. By the way, you asked me about Afro-Asiatic languages, right?
Yes.
And it seems that the Afro-Asiatic languages originate, of course, in Africa. That's a fact, okay? So most of the branches of Afro-Asiatic are still only in Africa. Berber, ancient Egyptian was only in Africa. Chadic, Cushitic, they're in Africa. Semitic branch is not in Africa. It's the only one of the branches that is not, okay? It seems that
which branch
is not in Africa. Semitic is not originating.
Okay, what is the Semitic? Which haplogroup?
Semitic would have been different haplogroups. Afro-Asiatic originally seems to be associated with EM35. EM35.
Your account new Twitter.
What?
Why?
Wait, say it again.
Excuse me,
So
Mr.
he's talking about your account is new in
No,
Twitter.
it's old. It's 2008. It's kept changing.
There is a question, Mr. Ted. There is a study. They are talking about the Holby group E, okay, and they call it EM35, okay.
Right.
They've been moved from Africa to Palestine, and then I don't know how many years they are staying there, and then they've been mixing with the other group, which is J1 and T and G Goggle, and they are creating the Arab, right?
Right, that's correct. Yes,
that's correct. Then we can say, but can you answer us about the language, how it's been creating there, or you don't have any knowledge about that?
Well, the answer is Arabic and Semitic is a branch. Semitic is a branch of the Afro-Asiatic languages, right?
Okay.
So originally, it's that Proto-Afro-Asiatic was spoken in Africa maybe 20,000 years ago, in maybe by people who were EM35, okay, right? And around 15,000 years ago, a group of people come from East Africa and go to Palestine and stay there, and they become the Natufians, right? Now they're E30, okay, and looks like they mix with other people, and the language changes, and eventually, after thousands of years, it becomes Semitic. So by the time it becomes a Semitic language, there are many people of different haplogroups who are speaking it at the very beginning of Semitic.
No, the study they are saying the Semitic language, it's before the J1 came, or other Holy group, it's mixing up with them.
Yes, it is before J1. It's not, Semitic is still later than, much later than Afro-Asiatic. Okay.
Okay.
It's still later than that, than Afro-Asiatic. All Semitic languages seem to have been one language 6,000 years or something along those lines, right?
Okay, the
That's
mic, still we have, your voice is not clear.
Okay, how about now if I point the microphone directly? Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
هيزع ممكن أسأل السؤال مباشرة أنا؟
يلا
Okay,
تفضل.
so what
Hi,
I'm saying was that Afro-Asiatic takes thousands of years to become, and it, because of the mixing of different people, a new branch arises that you could call Semitic. It originates as an Afro-Asiatic language, but when different become Semitic, happens around 6,000 years ago.
We can.
Mr. Ted, I have a question for you here. This is.
جبرت عشان we can.
لا نفس السؤال.
لا. The pre-language. The pre-language
of Semitic?
Yes.
Afro-Asiatic, the original language, the pre-language.
Okay, روح الجبر.
Yeah, Mr. Ted, there is a debate. The debate every day on the spaces between the two haplogroups, J1 and E. They are asking who is the main owner or the originator of the Afro-Asiatic or the Semitic language. Is it haplogroup EM35 or J1?
EM35. EM35. Asiatic is EM35. J1 comes from the Caucasus. So the J1 people originally did not speak an Afro-Asiatic language. They adopted it very early, but they adopted it.
We can say like the newcomers, J1 from Caucasus, they actually mingled with the EM35 and they get the language from the EM35 people.
I would agree with that. Yes, I would say that. I would agree with that.
Thank you very much.
Can you repeat it, Mr. Ted?
صلاحكم يا J1.
لا أنا عارف لأنهم هم يسمعون الحين.
Can I say that there are J1, ancient J1s that are nowhere near the Middle East? There are J1s from Karelia. Karelia is a part of Russia that used to be part of Finland. And there's J1 from there from 7,000 years ago. Okay.
Can I ask you one more question, if you don't mind?
Yes.
What do you think is like the main cause of having J1 as a majority now in the Arabic Peninsula? Although the other haplogroups, they were like, prior to J1. What really causes them to spread and to be the majority now?
Domestication of the camel.
Mm-hmm.
The camel. That's the obvious answer.
So what you're saying, they're coming from a shepherd background, and they're adapted to the desert life and make them survive and adapt, and then able to spread on this kind of area and climate.
Yes, exactly. When they adopt
adaptation.
Yeah, it was an adaptation. When they adopted the camel, they were able to live in places where no one could live before because they were too dry. Arabia became dry at one point 5,900 years ago, or a little bit later than that. Arabia started to become dry. The rain stopped falling. The rain used to come from the Indian Ocean and go all the way north to the Fertile Crescent. Right, the monsoon. And the monsoon gradually withdrew further and further south, and Arabia dried out. So there was a time period in Arabia where it was mostly uninhabited. There was nobody living in northern Arabia because it didn't rain. Okay. around 3,000 years ago, the camel was domesticated, and it was a new opportunity for people to live in the desert, which had become empty. Okay, and to also to trade across the desert, to go to oases that they couldn't get to because they were completely surrounded by desert. There was no way of traveling there with donkeys because
Understood.
they couldn't carry the water. So basically, the domestication of the camel, just like R1A and R1B, spread with the domestication of the horse. This is the same thing with J1 and the camel. It's the same situation. When they were
Great.
able to domesticate the camel, then the population in Arabia exploded, and a lot of them were J1 of a certain kind.
Yeah.
Camel,
Excuse me.
camel were adopted like 7,000 to 8,000 years ago, and you can double check the
Oh
article
no,
from BBC.
domesticated. No, there's no evidence for domestication that early.
Can you
There's
double
no
check the
evidence for
article
it.
Can you double check the article in the banner?
I
just
looked.
put.
The earliest domesticated camel, 930 CE.
Okay. I have two questions. The first one, when you talked about T to T, you said
Yeah,
it is possible to make the haplogroup tree or the tree that we have about the SNP to match the Pamela tree. Is that
right.
medically possible?
Yes,
Because
it is.
what I read about it, it's not
Yeah,
possible for every single generation to have mutations.
it's possible. If you look at the entire Y with the T2T, if you look at the entire Y, and there are places along the way that have a very high mutation, it absolutely is possible that each single generation, each man will have their own unique mutations. Yes, it is absolutely possible. What we're looking at now before the TT is only a small part of the Y.
لحظة يا صالح يا أخوي، عادتك السيئة ذي تدخل على طول. أصبر خلينا نسأل الرجال.
Is it safe to assume that since Adam is estimated to be roughly 200,000 years old, is it safe to assume that if we divide that number by, let's say, 40, this would give us the number of SNPs with the new technology?
40? No, it's going to be right now on the tree, from the tree. There are approximately 1,800, more or less, to each branch, to each sample today from the root, approximately 3,000 SNPs. But with the T2T, I mean, what I'm seeing is, I don't know how accurate this is, but let's say I've seen 20,000, 30,000, huge number, long read. Seen long
Mr.
read sequences, back biosequencing. I a lot of SNPs, lot. Okay, I don't know. I have yet to determine exactly how accurate it is, but when we have long read sequencing and a complete Y sequence, there will be thousands of SNPs, many more thousands of SNPs than we have now.
But you told me about الشرقي. اسأل.
خليني بس أقول له
Mr.
حاجة.
Ted, thank you very much for your time and your excellent answers and information. Thank you.
Welcome.
Did you reach which haplogroup Abraham, the Prophet Abraham, and his sons
We don't know.
Isaac?
No, it's a mystery.
Do you think the majority of tribes in Saudi Arabia came with one haplogroup, and you can?
No, I think they came with all kinds of different haplogroups.
But in how percentage you think?
Well, it was a mix. I think a lot of Bedouin were in J1 FGC11, but that was 3,000 years ago. But I think that there were a lot of earlier inhabitants in Arabia who were certainly not FGC11, and there was a mix. It's a mix. There's all kinds of mix of different haplogroups in Arabia. So
Okay. Same question and same conclusion.
You're acquaint new
What?
and Twitter. Why?
what?
You're acquaint and Twitter.
يا
Twitter.
صالح
He's asking you. That's your
يا
account
يا
is new
صالح
on Twitter.
يا
يا
صالح
صالح
excuse me, I have another
لا
question.
من 2008
Yeah, go ahead.
هاي
Please,
لحظة
دقيقة
بس
دقيقة
أقول لك
يا
حاجة لو سمحت يا
الجبرتي
الجبر
بس دقيقة في نفس
الجبرتي
الإطار.
خلي
دقيقة في نفس
الجبرتي يسأل
الإطار.
الجبرتي خلي الجبرتي يسأل
لا بس دقيقة يا هيزع في نفس الإطار عسبة ما يروح نقطة ثانية الرجال.
إيه.
Mr. Ted,
Yes.
in same part, we need to ask about Ad and Thamud. Okay.
You know what?
It is the best possible that Ad and Thamud, they are also mixed Hebrew group.
I would think that they are mixed. Yes. Yes. So Ad and Thamud would be mixed haplogroups. Yes.
يعني الأمم اللي خلت كانت فيها تنوع جيني.
By the way, also there are tribes that have tradition of being Thamud, right? And there are certain tribes today, and I think some of them are J1. You know, in regular branches of J1.
J1 is J
Some I don't know,
with
but I
joints.
think Ad and Thamud were a mix, just like the rest of the Arab. The other were all mixed.
اوكي مستر
okay,
تيد I posted اسمح لي يا الجبرت الله يرفعك الظاهر I posted a Twitter a tweet. You may copy it and you may go through the through it, read it carefully. You probably will find some and you will be surprised there.
Okay.
Copy it and save it, study it, and then you may change your mind about certain stuff that you were saying today. Thank you.
Okay.
well, I have two questions, please.
Yes, go ahead.
I have to. In the spaces now, they are very obsessed with the idea of Noah and his three sons, which is Shem and Ham and Japheth. Do you think this is applicable to the haplogroups that we are seeing now, or it's total a myth and we cannot rely on that?
You cannot say that there are haplogroups from three different sons. By the way, I'm going to put something to you, give you something.
Please.
Do you have to believe that in Islam?
No. It's just a legacy.
You have to believe that's in Torah, right?
It's in Torah, yes. It's in the Old Testament, yes. It's
right.
not in.
It's not. Is it obligatory for Muslims? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
So then it's a moot question for Muslims. You don't have to believe about three sons or the flood was or who was flowed, if it was or was just a certain area. You don't have to believe any of those things because it's not specified in Islam. Right?
True. But do you think it's applicable? Do you think it's applicable to what you see?
When you look at the tree, you don't see three branches.
True.
You don't see three branches when you look at the tree. That's what if you look at it, you can't see three branches. Right?
My second question, if you don't mind, regarding the kingdom of Sheba, the one that's known in Yemen and East Africa. What do you think? Is it from East Africa or it's from Yemen or it's both? I mean, this is a question also.
I think that Saba was in Yemen originally, but I think that they sent colonists to Aksum, which was in East Africa. So there was maybe it was sometime around 3,000 years ago when a group of people from Arabia went over to East Africa. So I think the kingdom was actually in both places, but later in East Africa and Ethiopia, you had the kingdom of Aksum, which spoke a South Arabian language. Okay, so
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Final question. Speaking of Abrahamic branch, recent study was published back in March.
Question,
recent study was published back in March. It stated that 46% of Cohen clustered under some branch.
No, no, it was not published in March, and it's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
It is there.
It's not true. The study was published in 2008 that showed that there's a whole bunch of different branches for Kohanim.
Okay, if you allow me, I'll send it to you via DM.
Okay, send it.
All right.
Okay,
So,
but it's not true. It's not true that it's all different branches and there are different haplogroups. By the way, the Samaritan Levites are in a branch of EV22. You know that?
The Sumerian?
Yeah, I've been It's mentioned different haplogroups, but it stated that 46 of the Kohen clustered under a branch in the haplogroup J1. So, and that
you know what? That's only European Jews. 46% maybe, but that's only European Jews. That's not Jews from different other places.
Well, okay. Let me send it to you via DM.
The Ashkenaz?
Please.
Yeah, Ashkenaz. Yeah, just that branch. Yeah. Right, Ashkenaz. Yeah.
Okay.
How about the Middle Eastern Jews?
Mentioned Ashkenaz anyway.
They're a mix. There's Kohanim in all different branches. I know of a branch in R2. The ones from Isfahan.
Basically, what's gathering them is the religion, not the genes, right?
What? Say it again.
What's gathering them together is the religion, not the genes. They're not like from one organ.
Yeah, but and that's there. Yes, what gathered them together was religion, not necessarily a gene. That's correct. Yes.
So have you come across that?
Thank
study?
you, and that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Right. They don't understand that, right? But that's true of true of Arabs too, right?
Understand what? Can you repeat it?
That originally.
بأن اليهود ليسوا من عرق واحد بل أنهم أقوام مختلفة ويجمعهم الدين وليس العرق.
Okay. Mr. Ted, just I ask you about the G Google in Egypt, right?
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you mentioned it. That I want to just make sure about it. The G Google, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I think it is there.
1 minute.
It will come out. I think there's more sample.
Ted,
what?
he just forget that you mentioned that there is شو اسمه
The G Google was found in the Gulf.
In the Gulf. You mentioned that you found in the
that too. Yeah.
But
that too.
But they are in the same way there is in Egypt, right? You told
us. Yeah, the same way.
In the same way, there is also J1, and there's also in Egypt. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what. I never heard of other samples from ancient Arabia, so I don't know.
No,
but I do know.
I mean the culture of Egypt. There is also J1, and there is also other Hebrew group. Yeah.
No,
I don't know. The only one that I heard in the Gulf is G Google G1 G Google.
Okay, قال لك يا هيزع أنت الحين.
But in ancient Egypt, I know that there's in the Old Kingdom there's some kind of maybe it's EV22. I don't know. It's some kind of in ancient in the Old Kingdom, and there's other branches in the Middle Kingdom. But I know one sample is definitely G Google G2A.
How far does it go back?
Middle Kingdom, so that would be around 4,000 years.
But the G Google, I think it's older.
The G Google هو G Google يعني يقول لك قبل 4000 سنة.
أنه في مصر. صح؟
لا قال لك انه هو في الجلف في الخليج قبل 4000 سنه.
لا
خلاص تبغانا تحطنا في مصر
يا
اللي في مصر ومثله يا جماعه افهموا
يا اخي
في مصر ومثله في الخليج.
The answer is by 4,000 years ago. G Google is in many different places on Earth. Okay, it could be in Egypt. It could be in the Gulf region. There was.
Sorry for that, but the G Google, where is this starting? Starting from where? You know?
Fertile Crescent. Fertile Crescent. The western part of the Fertile Crescent.
What is that? I don't know.
الهلال الخصيب. هلال الخصيب.
Where's
you mean Palestine and Syria and that's terrible?
No, Iraq.
Palestine, Syria, southern Turkey, northern Iraq, that area.
الهلال
That's where it comes from.
Can I ask you one more question, please?
Yeah.
دقيقة هيزع. We can see about the J1. There is a high concentration in Iraq area and the second high concentration in Yemen. I would like to know the flow of the people of J1. Is it was going from north to south, or it's going from south to north?
No, definitely north to south. Absolutely north to south.
North to south. And who is like the originator of how like Yemen get this high percentage of J1? Is it through the Persian or through
No. Through the domestication of the camel coming from the north and settling in Yemen.
Okay. So the influence, it was coming from north to south.
Yeah, north to south. From the area south of the Caucasus, it spread down with the Amorites, and then some nomads adopted the camel and spread it further south, all the way throughout Arabia with the camel. From north to south.
Mr. Campbell, you can double check that study. I just uploaded it to the panel.
Okay.
It is clearly stated that 46.1% of all Koheens fall within this.
That's Ashkenazi Jew. Yeah, but that's Ashkenazi Jews only, European Jews.
So, are you saying Koheen is exactly the same thing as Ashkenazi?
No, it's not the same thing.
Okay. So the study is.
He said the Jews is in different haplogroups.
They're in all different haplogroups. Yes, they're in all different haplogroups.
Anyways, I just uploaded the study. Have a look at it, and you might get some insight about what I'm talking about.
Here's the thing: it may be true that among European Jews, 46% of Kohanim are in a certain branch of J1, but that's not true of other Jews that are not just from Europe, right? Okay, I know that there are important branches in R2A. The Kohanim of Isfahan are in R2A. The Kohanim of Jerba Island, which is a very ancient, respected lineage, are in J2A. They're in J2A M318, right? So there are different branches, and there are also important families in various branches among European Jews as well. So just because there's one branch that happens to be more common, there's also a majority of Levi in European Jews that's in a certain branch of R1A, in a particular branch of R1A. Okay.
From our point of view, since almost the majority of Adnani tribes meet with those Kohen at the specific branch.
No,
that's
they
why
don't.
We are trying to match it with the
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. It's too old. It's 6,000 years ago. It's too old.
It's roughly for Bronze Age, I believe.
No, it's earlier than that.
Excuse me. In your opinion, who is like currently the Jews that really represent the Kohanim, and are the Samaritans, the one in Naples, in Palestine, the old group, are they real Jews too, or not?
You know what the answer is about that is that they will tell you that they come from Bani Israel, from different tribes, other tribes, northern tribes. Now, the answer is that when there was a split between Jews and Samaritans, it was a religious split. The Samaritans do not honor Jerusalem, Quds. Okay?
I know. Yeah.
They do not. Now, when this split took place was in the Persian period. So there were some people who were beginning to be what you'd call Jews at that time who split and joined the Samaritan group, right? So the Samaritans are a mix of different. Today, there are only 4 families and there are only 4 haplogroups. Okay, so because only 4 families survived, 4 male lines. That's it. Okay, so if there were earlier Samaritans in different haplogroups, we don't know what they are. Okay, but the Samaritans are in 4 separate haplogroups.
Okay,
Right?
what's really concerned the Arabs here is to know the sons of Israel, which is Jacob. In your opinion,
it's the
which
same
one?
question. Okay, here's the thing. It's the same question as what is the haplogroup of the prophet. It's the same question.
Exactly.
What's the haplogroup of Abraham? We do not know. The answer is we do not know. It's a mystery. We do not know.
Thank you for your
but in the
being
future,
frank.
maybe it will able to. We will find the answer for this in the future.
Only from ancient DNA. Only from ancient DNA. If they open some, if they sequence some bones, go heat up some bones, and then you could sequence them and see
do
what
you
it is.
do you think there is a new technology will come by the X-ray? It will help the DNA.
No. They have to extract the DNA from bones.
Okay, Mr. Ted. You know, we are happy that you are among us and we are talking to you.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Can I ask just one last question? One last question.
كبرتي لحظة أنا نقدم الرجال موعد ثاني عشان نسأل وناخذ راحتنا معه. Can you just we invite you? I don't know about the time is suitable for you to have you here in space and to have a question with you.
Okay.
When it's suitable for you? Tomorrow night at the same time? You think so?
Yeah. You could let me know. Send me a message. Yeah.
Okay, the same time.
Now, let me say this one thing that I didn't say.
Okay.
Right? Okay, which is that
your voice is cutting off.
Something in that Arabs in G Google do not understand about G Google. You could say this about other haplogroups, right? What we know from ancient DNA is that G was in many different ancient peoples, many different ones. Sudan, Egypt, Amorites, ancient people of Europe, Germanic tribes, Romans, people from Pakistan, Huns from Mongolia, all had ancient DNA.
خليه يخلص هيزع الله يرضى عليك.
الله يخليك يا عنتر بس خزن why you think it is like this? Why?
Because G is so ancient. G is 20,000 G is 25,000 years old. The reason that it's so widespread is that some of the earliest farmers and villagers were G. So if they started 10,000 years ago and started farming and started herding and started living in villages, they had thousands of years to spread out. 8,000 years ago, they already arrived in Europe. 8,000 years ago, you see the first G in Europe, right? That's one example. You see G going in the other direction towards Central Asia, towards Uzbekistan, in the other direction in Pakistan. You see it in all different groups of people because it's so ancient. When these groups of people formed, German tribes, Romans, Etruscans, Minoans, Mycenaeans, ancient Egyptians, everybody.
You know, tribes here in Saudi Arabia in G holy groups.
Yeah. Do I know that there are tribes? Well, I
Yes.
know there's a bunch from Hail. There are many different tribes. All different tribes have G. All different tribes.
Okay.
Many different tribes have G. I don't think that there's a tribe that does not have G.
اوكي بس طلعت طعميه يا عبد الله في الاخير. كان
نور طيبه يا ريال حتى لو كنا عيال
So
عم
what I'm trying to say is that by the time you get to the historic period where you could start naming people according to names that we can give them now, all these people already have G among them.
اوكي مثل
Even in ancient times, they already have G.
Until now, you're saying G is the oldest?
يا رجل خل جي يا
No,
رجال.
it's not the oldest. It's one of the oldest for farming and herding.
يا اخي يقول كل
and villages.
to them in Arabic. يقول جي
was there
أنت
any
اصبر
samples
يا
from
عنتر
Arabia?
اصبر يا عنتر. يقول الجي جوجل في كل قبيله فيها جي جوجل مثل الدم في الجسم. تفضل يا ابو.
There will be other haplogroups.
Was there any samples has been tested from like from Yemen or Saudi Arabia?
I don't know. All I know is I know the Gulf region and I know Egypt. I assume that they're testing. I had heard that they're testing in Arabia and Yemen, but I don't know of any results yet. I don't know how successful.
You can do search in Twitter. You will find the new results. They are from Yemen. From
عندي له سؤال هزاع.
I heard those rumors. Well, all I know is that they're gonna find G in the Gulf region of Arabia from 4,000 years ago.
Excuse me, please.
يا عبد الله يا عبد الله
يور لحظة يا جماعة سؤال
يا اخي
يا اخي شو سؤالك؟
اوجه له
شو سؤالك؟
يور
صالح بالعربي
لا بالانجليزي. يور تويتر اكونت نيو واي قول له حسابك جديد يعني ما فتحه ولا
انا برد عليك الريال لانه ما يشارك دائما عنده من 2008.
يور تويتر اكونت نيو واي.
I also know that there's going to be G in ancient Mesopotamia as well.
Okay, Mr. Ted, can we?
No, please.
يا حول يا اخوي. Can you please be with us tomorrow?
Okay, let me know. Give me a time. Message me, direct message me, private me.
What time now in your?
خليك ارسل لها رسالة وقول لها متى.
خلاص يا عنتر انا افهم انجليزي يا يرحم امك اللي جابك.
لا تفهم انجليزي وانت لا تمسك كلها معك.
It's the evening.
What time now? What time?
What time is it now? It's 8:46 p.m.
عندك توقيت السعودية وين الفجر؟
What? Say it again. It could be earlier.
What time now?
What's your local time?
Local time 8:46 p.m.
Okay, 8. That means it's gonna be 6:30. Is okay?
6:30 is fine. Yeah.
Okay, then 6:30 is gonna be with you, right?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
You're gonna find us here متبطحين وفهمت لا وكل واحد قش
انا والله ما ادري اكون موجود ولا لا. عاد هو ما بيقصر.
تكفى اللي بنضيع من بعدك. تكفى يا اخوي.
لا ما اقول هو ما بيقصر بيجلدكم جلد.
تكفى يا اخوي. انا اشوف عيني بتضرب طعميه بكره وتسحب علينا.
يا اخي اكل احلى وجبه يا اخي
والله العظيم. تضرب لي فوف عليك بالبصل بس ترى.
ابشر فارق طيب يا هيزع.
شكرا يا حبيبي على اخلاقك العاليه. والله انك كريم يا شيخ. كريم صدق.
الله يطول عمرك.
الكرم
الكريم ابوك وانت ولده.
والله ما عليك زود. الكرم والله في النفس ما هو في الفلوس ولا في العطاء. والله هذا كرم النفس صدق والله.
بيض الله وجهك. ونحن نحمل لك نفس المشاعر والاخلاق.
اشكرك يا صاحب الاخلاق.
مرحبا.
Mr. Ted, thank you for joining us.
Okay, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay, if you want to ask any question for us or something, we can help you.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'm working on the T2T realignment, and we're going to see what we get. Well, what I'm going to need is people who have Nebula and Dante Labs sequences.
Could you make sure, please, could you make sure that your DM is available?
It's on Twitter. Not on Twitter. I'm sorry. I mean on Telegram. You can message me on Telegram.
Okay. You have a link for your Telegram?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Hold on. How do I give a link to my Telegram? Let me see.
Just tweet it, and we can upload it to the banner.
Hold on. Let me open it. Okay, hold on.
Excuse me, regarding the Nebula, which test you are talking about? Which test in Nebula?
Nebula and Dante Labs, whole genome sequence, WGS, whole genome.
Okay.
That's what I'm interested in. People who have whole genome, so we could look at the T2T results. Does anyone in G1, Google 1 have Nebula or Dante Labs?
Because in Nebula, the whole genome, there are three different types: the basic, the deep, the ultra deep.
اللي عنده فحص دانتي لاب للجميع يعني، وخصوصا على الهبل جروب جي جوجل او اي هبل جروب يقدر يبعث له اياه على الخاص عسبة يساعده في تقنية التي تو تي، ارسال للجميع.
Which level of the Nebula? There is 3 levels: basic, deep, or ultra deep.
Oh, you don't need ultra deep. Just 30x is fine. 30x. That's just, I think it's just called deep. Ultra deep is a waste of money.
Okay,
you don't need ultra deep. Just regular 30x Nebula is good. That's the best. The best one. I don't recommend Dante Labs right now. I'm recommending Nebula instead of a big Y, or instead of Dante Labs. That people should get a Nebula sequence. Don't get a big Y.
How long it takes to get the results?
I don't know. It's not. I think that they're getting quicker now. They have
excuse me, please, حزاع. I want your Twitter account. New. Why new? Why?
It's not new. It's not new.
يا شيخ على مستوى
حسابه قبل ساعة يا رجل، حسابه قبل ساعة.
ولا ترحم نفسك يا اخوي، ارحمنا
والله هزاع، والله قسم بالله حسابه قبل يوم.
يا اخي ايش المشكلة؟ خذ المعلومات من انت.
ولا انجليزي ولا الغرب ولا شيء، احنا عرب. يجيني واحد عمره دجاجة وانه يتكلم الانجليزي خلاص.
الرجال عمره 45 سنة يا رجل.
يا رجال انت اخترت
What is your old
اوكي انت اخترت من معهد، من جامعة.
يا اخي هذا عرفه قبل سنتين انا. لا
والله العظيم ضايقني، حرام طلاق 3 اني بفحط.
لا تطلق
يا رجال هذا من
عندنا 10 بنزود.
والله انه من حسبتكم. والله انا حطيت له، قلت له انت حسابك جديد، الحساب جديد بتويتر، حطيت عليه
قديم
اقول حطيت عليه
حسابه من 2008 قديم، اقدم حساب ممكن موجود.
يا جماعه لا حد يخدع العروبه راسخه، ولا حد يخدعكم
have you submit your telegram yet?
العروبه لا حد يخدعكم.
Let me write it.
دقيقة بحط انا بمنشن هنا وين هذا. دقيقة كيف احط ارفع تويته هني فوق.
يا اخي حط انت ارسلها لي على الخاص.
ايه
وانا برفعها.
هذا ارفعها.
يلا هات
هذا اخوي هيزع. السلام عليكم، صبحكم الله بالخير. حسابه من 2009، مو جديد، من 2009، اقدم منا كلنا.
ايه ما يعرف. الله يهديه صالح بس
يا بس في سؤال بس يا هيزع، سؤال شخصي بعيد عن نطاق الجينات. يا اخي انت ريال راعي ماركت واسهم امريكيه وعملات رقميه؟
من انا لا عملات رقميه ولا اسهم ولا شيء من اول كانت، الحين والله ما عندي اهتمام صراحه.
والله ضاع نص عمرك صراحه. السوق طالع ترى.
انت وين في العملات انت؟
ايه
العملات رايحه فيها.
لا بشرك ارتفعت امورها. طيب
ما خسرنا الا انت يا عبد الله.
لا ان شاء الله ما بخسر الا خساره الروح.
حبيبي انت قاعد ترسل لي رسائل وادخل في البيتكوين والكلام هذا
لا انا بعطيك معلومه بس. البيتكوين اخر السنه هذه ان شاء الله بيوصل ال 90,000 دولار، وبعد 12 سنه البيتكوين الحبه الواحده بتكون 3 مليون دولار.
لا اله الا الله، احلام اليقظه.
ما في مشكله احلام اليقظه. انا غدا لناظره قريب. نحن نشوف عندنا 12 سنه ان الله حياني وحياك.
الحين عبد الله كم
تحدني على مليون ريال يا عبد الله وانا اتحداك على مليون.
كم قيمته عبد الله الان البيتكوين؟
البيتكوين الحين قيمته تقريبا 41,000 دولار او 42.
اذا ما وصل
دقيقه بجيب لك اياه بالضبط. دقيقه
اذا ما وصل 22 يا عبد الله ترى بحق.
لا شوف انت الازمه الحين هذه بس تنحل مالت اوكرانيا وروسيا زين والسوق بيستقر. الحين سعر البيتكوين يا طويل العمر والسلامه 43,772 دولار.
يعني 44.
لا تلعب الفيوتشر تروح فيها يا ولد.
طيب
يا اخي هيزع كان عندي سؤال يا اخي اخير للرجال يا اخي يا هيزع.
طيب معليش الجبرت خلينا نستفيد من وجود عبد الله.
احنا نسأله نقول له بكره وموعدينه، يعني انت ليش محسسنا؟
لا الجبرت يبغى ينتزع اعتراف انه السلاله هي السلاله الابراهيميه.
لا بدون انتزاع ولا شيء. ترى الرجال ما بيعطيك الا كل الحضارات فيها تنوع جيني.
عبد الله الحركات
لا والله كان عندي سؤال بس اخير بسيط.
طيب دقيقه يا جبرت.
بكره الجبرت
يا تاريخ عبد الله متفق معه وقال اطلع وبنسالك وقال الجي جوجل ومدري ايش. سبحان الله وجاب العيد.
لا قسما بالله مستر تيد
لا عبد الله
swear to God
لا معليش يا جماعه بس سؤالي الاخير يا جماعه.
control you that you say that G Google is in Gulf or something like what you say any subject. Did I discuss with you or suddenly I send message and invite you here?
What? Say it again.
Listen, I suddenly you see your message from WhatsApp. Yes, and I invite you here. Did I control you to say something?
Yeah. You did. Hold on. My mic is on.
No. Did I control you to say something about your knowledge that G Google is old in Arabia or something like this?
Did you? Suddenly... are you telling me you told me before what to say? No.
Yeah.
Of course not. That's ridiculous. Who's saying that?
Swear to the God. I want the people to hear that.
What? No, people are telling me that you told me what to say? No, you did not tell me what to say, and I wouldn't listen anyway. I'm saying what I'm saying.
No,
okay?
I just have one last question, please, if you don't mind. It's just a small question.
We're just joking with Abdullah. He's taking it seriously, and then he, asked you.
لا بس هيزع ترى الناس تصدق بعدين تطلع على تويتر تسب فينا يا أخي.
يا رجال we are joking عاد الخبل عاد
أنا تدري زين هذه مساحة مفتوحة يا ريال بس العالم يا أخي ما تدري من الخبل من الصاحي.
يا رجال ما في أحد عندنا في المساحة خبل كلهم طيبين.
يا عبد الله انا
سؤال اخير يا هيزع سؤال اخير يا جماعه كل من
خلى الجبرتي يسال خلى الجبرتي
Mr. Ted last question. I know that we ask you a lot of questions and it's our apology for that. In the family tree I saw the origin of Hablo group F has changed from India to Arabic Peninsula. Is kind of like they are influenced by the numbers of testers or they have like also kind of commercial things?
It's commercial. I think that that haplogroup F probably originated in the Levant, you know.
In Levant?
The Levant, you know, Sham, that area. What is it called? Sham al-Kabir?
خربت عليك جزرتي.
I don't understand it. It was in India before. So where's
No,
like
it's not. It did not originate in India. That was wrong.
So what do you think? What do you think? Like the origin of haplogroup F?
The Levant. Sham al-Kabir.
Okay. Levant. Okay, Levant. It's like okay.
It's not just Syria. It's Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, that area.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. That's
what
where
about,
it
what about,
did not originate.
بعد اذنك ابو هيزع وين تسال بس
الجبرت حبيبي
What about the origin of
هذه
the
بضاعتكم
haplogroup
ردت
E?
اليكم.
لحظه خلي ابو محمد بيسال عبد الله البركات. تفضل يا استاذ عبد الله تفضل.
Good morning, Mr. Ted. I just wanted to ask you about, the E123 and its predecessors. Where are they older in the Sham area? Did they come, prior to the J1, birth, or are they, or did they come in the same time? You can answer it, or if it's not clear, I could repeat the question.
سألنا ابو محمد سالناه على السؤال ده بالطريقه دي وجاوب علينا هو.
He did answer it. Yeah.
قال انهم هم جو وكانوا في الشام وبعدين الجي 1 تقابلوا وكلهم كونوا ليش العرب. هو جاوب على السؤال.
المساحه مسجله هذه يا جماعه؟ المساحه هذه ريكورد ولا لا؟
لا والله ما سجلتها
والله. اظني التاريخ مسجل.
Mr. Ted, did you hear my question, or was it not clear enough?
لا هو ما يدري ان المايك مسكر. مستر تيد the mic it's off. Mic on.
Now it's on. Okay. Yeah. I did hear your question. The answer is that EM123 was there earlier than J1 in the Levant.
You think it was there prior to J1 birth in the area, or not birth? I mean, it was there and participating in the the civilization that was taking place in the Levant area, or they were chronologically in the same period.
No, I think that EM123 was there earlier.
It's 18,000 years old, isn't it? Not 18. Sorry, I think it's 14,000 years old.
Yeah, 14. Well, EM123 was found. EM123 was found in Ain Ghazal in what's now Amman 10,000 years ago. So EM123 was found there.
So you think that because of the remains that were found, not because of other evidence?
There are the real evidence is ancient DNA. So they did not find J1. They found, but they found EM123, and then also the Natufians are EZ830, which is the earlier branch above EM123, and the Natufians are from 13,500 years ago, right?
And
so
the Natufians they were proved to be just one unique, not including other clans.
No, not including other ones. EZ830. But they only had a few samples. They only had 2 samples, or 2 or 3. But they were EZ830.
So the conclusion is only based on the remains, not on the migration paths of the,
No, it's based on ancient DNA. And we know that at the same time that ancient DNA 13,000 years ago, J1 was in the Caucasus. At the time of the Natufians, J1 was up in the Caucasus, according to ancient DNA.
But I don't know. You know that the J1 has branched.
هذا لا يضل يتفلسف عليه.
You know, J1 has branched to two, branches. One branch is the Caucasus branch, and the other one is mainly the Arab, and include other. I mean, it has
But it
an Arab
originally,
majority.
yeah, originally it came from the north. The Arab branch came from the north.
Yeah, from the Caucasus or from Turkey. I mean, now
from
the
Caucasus or
location.
Turkey.
The location is now south of Trabzon in Turkey, where the J1 was born.
You know what? We don't know. It probably was somewhere more like the Caucasus, because there was a refugium there in the Ice Age. In other words, there was an area which was habitable in the Caucasus during the Ice Age, and Anatolia was dry.
I see.
أستاذ عبد الله ممكن
Thank you very much, Mr. Ted.
ترجم لنا يا أستاذ عبد الله إيش يقول؟
So at that time, I think J1 would have been in the Caucasus, and EZ830 would have been more in the Levant, further south. And G was somewhere in between.
Were there other, what they call it, Hubble groups in the area coexisted with each other?
Yes, there were. There were H2, there was T. Yeah, there were other ones. There were H2 and there were T. And there was also C, certain branch of C in Anatolia.
But Google, there is not exist in that time.
Where?
With this area. I mean, in that time you've been discussing with him about this when they are mixing with each other.
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, G Google was there as well. Yes.
Anyway,
they were there.
Excuse me, is it, the human remains, I mean, the ancient DNA, do you think it's enough to take a conclusion about, the oldest people that were there, or you think it's just an indication that shows that it might have been the oldest?
It's a good indication. It's a very good indication. It's not just a partial indication. It's a very good one. Okay, that the oldest people in the southern Levant were EZ830. Yeah, there may have been others too. There may have been some T. It's possible, because we see this a little bit later, right?
So we'll just have to wait for more, information.
More samples, yes. But I think that it's a very good conclusion that J1 was up in the north.
Yeah, and that was what the time frame is, just 13,000 and below, not higher than that.
Not higher than that. No, we don't have any samples earlier than that.
That's mean the EM35 and the J1, they are together. They've been coming from the north to south, right?
No, the EM35 came from Africa and the south to the north.
Which the Hubble group? I mean, it's coming from the J1 from the north to south.
J1 is coming from north to south, and EM35 is coming from Africa into the Levant and then moving out from there, spreading out from there.
I mean, who's the oldest one in the area here?
In which area?
It's in Saudi Arabia now, in the land of Saudi Arabia.
Arabic Peninsula.
That's very hard to say. That's very hard to say. But I would say that J1 came later.
Excuse me, Mr. Ted, one final question. How do you
I would say that J1 came later, and other haplogroups were there from before.
How do you integrate how do you integrate the T group with the whole population of the area 13,000 to 15,000 years ago? Or
You know, I could say that tea was found in Ain Ghazal about 10,000 years ago. So tea was in the region also. Tea was definitely in the region as well.
and tea, according to the family tree, it was born, north west of Kuwait. Do you think this
No,
to be?
I don't think so. I think tea was also in the Fertile Crescent.
Oh,
Just in
yes,
general.
yeah, that's more
Okay,
probable.
thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Ted. Thank you for and tomorrow, if it's gonna be earlier, like 6 o'clock in your local time, it's fine for
Okay.
you.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
هيزع سؤال بس سؤال واحد
Can you
أخير.
following me back by my Twitter account?
If you give me a link, I posted my Telegram.
Okay.
I can follow you.
Your
Just
Telegram.
one final question, Mr. Kendall, please.
Yes.
Just to conclude, as you mentioned, the origin of the F haplogroup is in the Levant area. And could you talk a little bit about the origin of E haplogroup?
E originated in Africa, in basically in northern and all across E haplogroup, all
Yes.
across northern Africa from the east to the west. E in general, but E is 52,000 years old, right? So the question is, which branch of E? Right.
I'm comparing E to F since they seem equivalent to each other.
Maybe
You know
EM35.
what? I would say F probably originated in the Levant, and E originated somewhere across the northern part of Africa, somewhere around there, but it's very hard to say where.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
But for the EZA30, it was in Levant for sure, right?
Yes,
The
that migrated and originated there. That's correct. Or it may not have originated there, but it migrated there very early, and that's where it spread. It left Africa and came there maybe at the end of the Ice Age, and then spread from there. EZ830. Yes.
That's 18,000 years ago, right?
The TMRCA of EZ830 is 18,000 years. Yeah, something like that. But the problem is that the Nile during the Ice Age was not flowing. The Nile was blocked by a big sand dune. So there was no way for people to walk into the Levant from East Africa. There was a big lake in Upper Egypt during the Ice Age. And at the end of the Ice Age, the Nile began to flow again. And it looks like around 15,000 years ago is when people started to move over from East Africa into the Levant. So maybe that's when EZ830 arrived, was around 15,000 years ago. It's something called the Mushabian culture.
يا شبلي يلا تفضل يا شبلي.
Volt. How's it going? Mr. Ted, I have a question.
Yes,
What do you think
go ahead.
about haplogroup J2?
J2 originated probably in the earliest J2 is 10,000 years ago in a hunter-gatherer 10,000 years ago in northern Iran near the Caspian, and then another one about 10,000 years ago in Georgia, and then yet another one around 10,000 years ago in Chayunu in the upper Tigris area of Turkey, right? And so I think that J2 was located to the south of J1, maybe a little bit more to the east, possibly, more towards Iran, something like that, northern Iran, or the Zagros Mountains or something. I think that's where J2 originated.
All right, perfect. And what do you think about the age or the TMRCA, the time to most recent ancestor?
Of J2?
No, not in general for all haplogroup. Do you think the ages are very accurate, or do you think they would
Yeah, I
change
think they're accurate.
drastically?
I think they're pretty accurate. They're not going to change that
Oh,
much. No.
okay, so they're gonna be at 240,000 years old, whatever for
Yes,
the
yes,
for the A00.
yes, yes. Correct. Yes,
Perfect.
I think so.
So in this case, what's your explanation for the haplogroup A00, like the one that they discovered in
Cameroon?
I think it's the Cameroon. Yep.
Yeah.
How do you
And they found it in
explain
ancient DNA.
how do you explain that there is no statistically nothing in between from
How is there no, why is there a bottleneck? Well, they found
exactly?
an A00 sample from 8,000 years ago in Cameroon. That's pretty old.
But that's still what happened to the rest?
Oh, why are there not a huge number of branches? Why is it very rare? Because they were hunter-gatherers. That's why. They were hunters. They were pygmy hunters.
Well, I get that, but what about the are you telling me that they never get any children? They were never able to produce any offsprings, and just like one at a time? It feels super.
Hunter-gatherer groups remain really small. It's farming and agriculture and herding that produces large populations. Hunter-gatherers remain very, very tiny populations. So if these people stayed hunter-gatherers like pygmy hunters, then they would have remained a very small group with a small population. You know, all the haplogroups, the original, before people were farmers, all populations were very small. Some haplogroups, some branches became very numerous because of farming and the change in lifestyle and the domestication of animals and later nomadism, you know, the horse and the camel and things like that, and also spreading via ship, you know, in the Pacific. But hunter-gatherer branches tend to be small and rare. And if they remain hunter-gatherers, then they would have stayed, you know, in a small population.
So here's the $1,000,000 question from religious perspective. Do you believe in, or do you truly believe in the existence of Abraham? Yes or no?
That's a theological question, which I won't get into.
Okay, so you don't want to answer that question. I mean, looking at the genes today, and you're telling me with 240.
But we can't say that there's a single haplogroup for Abraham. We can't determine it. We can't determine it. We don't know. The answer is we don't know what that haplogroup is.
Okay, and there's no indication it's in any haplogroup as of
No,
this
there's
moment.
no indication in any haplogroup as of this moment. There is absolutely no indication.
Some haplogroups claim that they found it.
A lot of people say a lot of things. A lot of people say they're the original Turks, or they're the original Germanic people, or this, that, and the other. And all these different groups around the world make claims about haplogroups, right? You know, but
so all what you're saying today, that this is non-founding information. It's not found on any scientific. There is no evidence that any evidence of the Abrahamic haplogroup.
Right. There's no evidence. That's correct. Yes.
Sibley, we did ask all these questions, by the way.
I'm sorry. I
we don't want really to.
I came very late. Sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna be like tomorrow. He's gonna come again, and I think you will be swamped by so many questions tomorrow.
Okay, good, very good.
Expect that, Mr. Ted. It's a very hot topic.
And here's the question: what's your background? Like, do you own a company? Do you work in a lab, or?
I have a nonprofit organization, Open Genomes. It's a nonprofit charity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I'll be around tomorrow.
I'll be looking forward for it. Thank you.
Okay.
شباب والله الجي 1 بيزعلون علينا الحين. يا ربي الجي 1 الحين راحوا فيها الجي 1.
لا الامور ترى نفس الشيء، ما تغير شيء ترى.
لا والله يا ابو محمد.
لا عبد الله، ترى انت ما حضرت يا عبد الله.
لا ابو محمد الكلام صدق. وبعدين شوف جبرتي،
عطنا الخلاصه، خلي جبرتي يعطينا الخلاصه.
انا اعطيك الخلاصه يا طول العمر والسلامه. شوف، في اسئله كانت على الجي 1 وكان في اسئله على الاي ام 35. فكان احدى الاسئله اللي سالوه اياها من الاقدم في المنطقه، هل السلاله اي ام 35 ولا السلاله جي 1؟ فقال انه السلاله اي ام 35 هي الاقدم، وانه السلاله جي 1 سلاله حديثه قدمت من القوقاز، تمام، وهم ليسوا اصحاب اللغه الساميه، وانه الاقرب للغه الساميه هم الاي ام 35. فانا كمان سالته سؤال عن سبب كثره الجي 1 في المنطقه، وهل هذا يعني انه هم الاقدم؟ فقال لا، حصل انه هم تكيفوا مع البيئه الصحراويه، تمام، ودجنوا الجمال واستخدموا الجمال، فصار عندهم نوع من التكيف، فصاروا أقدر على أنهم هم يستوطنوا في المنطقة وانتشروا بشكل أكثر.
لا، ولأنهم يعيشون في المناطق الصحراوية دي البعيدة وما يصيرون عرضة لهذا، فأدى أن يتكثرون بسرعة.
الجبرتي هو
نعم عندهم قابلية للتكيف في المنطقة.
قال جي 1 جاء من القوقاز، قال إيه جاء من أفريقيا. خليك صريح.
تمام، لا تمام ما قلنا شيء. هو قال لك انه الجي 1 فعلا جاء من القوقاز، وانه ايه من افريقيا. نعم بس شوف اخ زيد انا سالته، هو قال السلاله اي عمرها 56,000 سنه. فقلت له انا باختصار اللي هي السلاله اللي مركز عليها اللي هي الاي زي 830. فقال لا، الاي زي 830 خرجت بدري وانتقلت الى الشام وتوطنت في الشام وانفصلت، لانه السلاله اي حجمها كبير. ومن باب الأمانة أنا سألته على السلالة اف، قلت له كان مذكورة في السابق إنها في الهند، ودحين ذكرت في جزيرة العرب. قلت له أنت في رأيك وين ترى مكانها؟ فقال لي هو يرى إن هي مصدرها الشام. فهذه من باب الأمانة، يعني هذا قال إنه السلالة اف قد تكون مصدرها الشام. وسألته سؤال أخير برضو عن السلالة جي 1، وإنها مكتوب في الفاميلي تري إنها السلالة الإبراهيمية. فقلت له هل هذا الكلام تعتقد أنه صحيح؟ قال هذه مجرد دعاية لأغراض تجارية، وأنا لا أتفق معاه، وإنه هو يعني ما الكلام هذا ما يعتقد أنه صحيح، بس مجرد أغراض تجارية.
أنا ما هو على الجي 1، لو أنا على الجي 1 كان قال لي على السلالة الإبراهيمية.
لا شوف، هو ترى يعني الشخص محايد، يعني ما له في، هو السلالة هو من جي جوجل يعني، فما عنده هو أي نوع من المحاباة يا زيد.
خلوا اخونا
شوف اقول لك، في شيء سالنا، انا سالته سؤال عشان اكمل الشباب. انا سالته على سؤال، قلت له شوف وساله طبعا كمان شبلي، قال له على السلاله الابراهيميه هل عرفت؟ فقال له السلاله الابراهيميه لم تعرف لحد الان. وقلت له انا في رايك انت كشخص، هل تعتقد انه الكوهين متواجدين في سلاله في حد ذاتها معينه؟ قال لا اعرف ولا استطيع ان احدد. اليهود الان الموجودين على كل السلالات، ولا احد يقدر يستطيع على السلاله الابراهيميه.
ممكن بعد محمد في هيزع نخلي محمد بس
محمد ايش عندك؟
ما عندنا سلامتك. تكلمنا فعلا عن موضوع الكوهين، فاول ما طريت موضوع الدراسه على طول كانه هجوم انه لا هذه الدراسه قديمه وانها من 2008، وانها بعدين لما حطيت الرابط قال لا هذه تتكلم عن اليهود الاوروبيين. ولو لو واحد يقرا الدراسه وموجوده فوق في البانر، يعني كلامها جدا واضح انه جميع الكوهين انها بنسبه تقريبا 46% موجودين على الجي 1، وانه حددوا التحور اللي هم تحته. وقلت له انه من وجهه نظرنا احنا كعرب، انه بما انه في قبائل عدنانيه من تلتقي مع هذه القبائل في تحور معين فيمكننا الاسقاط. قال لا اوكي هذه النظريه يمكن، بس انه المشكله انه العمر نوعا ما كبير. هذا كان اعتراضه، انه العمر نوعا ما كبير، يعني انه 5000 سنه او لا، هو ذكر رقم كبير. قلت له لا، تقريبا هي من 4500 الى 5000 سنه. وعلى طاري السلاله اف، هو قال انا اتوقع انه موقع السلاله الاف الصحيح هو الشام، وموقع السلاله اي الصحيح هو افريقيا، ومن الشرق الى الغرب. فهذا اللي ذكره من ناحيه لانه سالني قال لي ليش تسال عن هذه؟ قلت له انه هذه تقدر تقارنها الاف، تقدر تقارنها بالاي. وتكلم عن السلاله زي ما ذكر الاخ الجبرتي، تكلم عن السلاله اي ام 35، وقال انها في المنطقه النطوفيه، وفيه فرع اعلى لها في منطقة الليفانت، وفي فرع أعلى من السلالة EM 35 تعتبر يعني نطوفية. فهذا اللي ذكره باختصار. لكن من ناحية موضوع السلالة الإبراهيمية يبدو أن الموضوع حتى يعني يتكهرب منه حتى الأخ اللي معنا.
بعد إذنك هيزع، بس أنا ألخص اللي ذكره لي أنا من اللي فهمته من كلامه. هو أنا سألته عن شو اسمه يعني الفرع M123 اللي أعتقد عمره 16,000 سنة، وهذا فقال هذا عمره حدود 18,000 سنة، بس هو ما يعتقد أنه دخل من 18,000 سنة، لأنه ذكر نهر النيل أنه ما كان متجمد أو في مشكلة مش عارف، وما صار يعني إمكانية الانتقال إلا قبل 15,000 سنة.
لا اوضح شيء عبد الله في هذه النقطه. هو
كمل الحين اللي عندي انا اللي
لا، لانه ما جبتها بشكل صحيح. ما جبتها لا، ما هو كذا. هو قال لك السلاله الكبرى طلعت من شرق افريقيا وتوطنت جزء منها في الشام. الجزء اللي في الشام انعزل بسبب انه قبل 18,000 سنه كان في بحيره ضخمه.
ايش حرفه؟ اعطينا حرفه.
الاي زي 830 والاي ام 35
انعزل هناك لانه
هذا موجود. على كل ما تقدر تسأله بعد ما نخلص كلامنا، اسأله هل فعليا متى تعتقد انهم دخلوا، وهذا السؤال انت تسأله مش اشكال. لكن انا اللي فهمته، انا اقول لك اللي فهمته من كلامه. انا فهمت من كلامه انه يعني انا قلت له هل يعني دخلوا من 18,000 سنة؟ قال هذا عمر شو اسمه الفرع هذا 18,000 سنة، لكن اعتقد لسبب الظروف البيئية في المنطقة لم يدخلوا الا في هذا الوقت. طيب سألته ليش الأقدم؟ ليش تفترضون أن الإي أقدم في المنطقة؟ قال يعني هل في عندك أسباب معينة؟ قال فقط البقايا البشرية اللي هي الرفات. وذكرت له بأنه يعني الجي1 احتمال يجي ذا، فقال هذا طبعا أيوه يعني يعتمد إذا جاء رفات يعني في الحالة دي. طيب سألته فيما بعد هل مسارات الهجرة والولادة هذا؟ قال هذه ما هي يعني دقيقة يعني مرة. قلت له طيب هل ممكن يكون يعني الجي1 كان في نفس قال الجي1 قديمة مولودة في القوقاز وفي تلك قلت له لا، مولودة هي في حسب مسارات الهجرة في جنوب طرابزون. قال هذا يعني ما هو دقيق، والسبب انه الظروف المناخية، يعني لأنه مولودة الجي1 قبل 31,000 سنة أو 30,000 سنة، فالكلام هذا قد يكون سليم يعني ما نقدر نقول لا. ولكن الزمن اللي تواجدوا فيه الإي كانت الظروف مناسبة، فأيضا من الطبيعي أنه الفرق، لأنه إحنا نتكلم الإي الحين على كلامه هو 15,000 سنة دخوله إلى الشام، ف 15,000 سنة أيضا كان المناخ طبيعي وقابل أنه الإي يسكنون فيه. أكيد الجي وغير الجي، يعني جي 1 والجي 2 والجي وكل السلالات، طالما أنه أصبح الشام قابل وسكنوا فيه الإي في تلك الفترة، فوارد جدا أنه كل السلالات. ولكن الآن الجزء ما هو الجزم، يعني التوجه بنسبة كبيرة بأنه الإي هو الأقدم من منطلق الرفات البشري. يعني لو جاء بكرة رفات بشري على الجي ولا الجي 2، الجي 2 أيضا قديمة في المنطقة، يعني يجب أن لا ننسى ذلك أيضا. فنحن نتكلم الآن عن الفريم أو الإطار الزمني في تلك الفترة، بأنه المنطقة كانت قابلة للعيش، ولوجود التي أيضا رفات للتي فوق 10,000 سنة، فهذا دليل على أنه كان في تنوع بشري في المنطقة. وبرغم أنه أنا سألته سؤال ليش النطوفيين هم هل هم فيهم تنوع سلالي؟ قال لا، فقط إيه. طبعا مع احترامي لإجابته أنا ما أدري، أنا بس طالما أنه فيه سلالات أخرى فما يمنع أنه طبعا، لكن الدراسات هي اللي تقول الكلام هذا. ولكن العبرة بأنه في سلالات متعددة في تلك الفترة، والجزم لدى الغالبية بأن الإي أقدم هو من منطلق الرفات. يعني الرفات إذا استخدمناها كمرجع وحيد فالكلام سليم، لا أحد يستطيع ينكر أنه الإي هي أقدم. أما إذا كان في أمور أخرى وهو ما يجب أن يؤخذ في الحسبان طبعا يعني فقد تتغير الصورة. ولكن اليوم بموجب الرفات فالكلام سليم يا أخوي الجبرتي، وشكرا. تقدر تسأل السؤال.
عبد الله معلش انت
اللي أخطأت
لا عبد الله، انت النقطة هذه ركزت فيها وسألته اياها بأربع طرق وقال لك نفس الإجابة. انت حاولت تفهمه انه هل انه الجي 1 كان متعايش مع الاي 103 اي ام 323، فقال لك لا. قال لك هذا الجي 1 حديث. قال لك كان موجود التي والجي جوجل
جاي من
ايوه نعم. وقال انه هم قلت له جاء من تركيا. قال لك لا، جو من القوقاز، لانه كانت الظروف في تركيا ما ادري فيها شيء. قال لك ابعد من كذا في القوقاز. وكمان ذكر بالنسبه للاخ شبلي قال له بالنسبه للجي 2، فقال له في الجي 2 كانوا اقرب الى المناطق اللي هي جهه ايران، وإنه في غضون 10,000 السنة الأخيرة، وإنهم هم أقرب من ذيك المناطق. وسألوا سؤال عن اللي في الكاميرون، فقال له اللي في الكاميرون كانوا طبيعتهم صيادين، والصيادين غير الزراعيين هم اللي يكون لهم انتشار سكاني، بينما هذول الأقدام اللي يكون بطبيعة الصيد وكذا إنه يكونوا أعدادهم قليلة. فهذا اللي أنا فهمته منه.
أعطينا مشروع، أعطونا مشروع. أبو عبد الله حاول إن أبو محمد حاول يدافع على الجي 1، لم يستطع، لم يصمد أمام العلم.
طيب السلام عليكم.
والله عبد الله جاله يمين جاله شمال، ما مشي
جاله
الحال.
يمين جاله شمال، دخل عليه من هنا من تحت من فوق من جنب.
الاخ عبد الله العمري عنده حساسيه من السلاله اي 84 بالمناسبه، ولا يبغى يقتنع انها هي الاقدم. يا اخ عبد الله والله العظيم اقدم. الجي 1 حديثه يا اخي، ايش المشكله؟
على البركه يا مشروع
الرجال. والله
خليني
الله يبغى.
بعد اذنك هيزع بعد اذنك بس اساله سؤال اخير.
يلا.
Excuse me, Mr. Ted. Can I ask you just a final question?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, you said the Levant area was habitable about 15,000 years ago, right?
Yes, correct. It was.
Yes, yeah, and we can say with high certainty that the E branches actually entered at that time or prior to that time?
Probably right around that time, because that's when the ice age ended. It began to get a bit wetter, and it enabled them to be able to cross the Sinai. So that was around 14,700 years ago.
Can I ask you one question, Mr. Ted?
انتظر يا اخوي، انا كمل. ما كملت يا اخوي، خلني حتى شكلنا ما هو مناسب بالشكل ده. خلني اكمل وبعدين اسال اللي تبي.
In archaeology we see a group of people who look like they're coming across the Sinai from Africa right around this time, and they're mixing with the people that are already in the Levant, right? They're called Mushabian culture.
Okay, and do you think that there couldn't be an ethnic variety at the time when they entered from different branches, and taking into consideration the G Hubble group, the T Hubble group, the J1 Hubble group, could they have been in the same time? Because the weather is okay at the time.
I think that J1 was up in the north at the time.
14,700 years ago.
Yeah, it was in the Caucasus region. Yes.
On what basis did you have your this opinion?
Because the J1 was found 13,500 years ago in Georgia, in Sapsurlia Cave in Georgia.
Yeah, that's true. But as you know, we have two branches of the J1. One branch is the Caucasian branch, and the other one is the L620.
I know, but the thing is that this particular branch, this is J1B. This is the earliest branch of J1. So I think there's good signs that both branches were further north, because the earliest samples from the Levant up until the Bronze Age don't have J1 of any kind.
Okay, so
they don't have J1 until later.
So it's only the ancient DNA that gives the tendency to believe that the existence was later for the J1 branch.
Right. Yes, ancient DNA shows it. That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ted. My question now. You
Go
said
ahead.
EM123 has entered the Levant at the time of the remain. So I know you depending on the remain. The remain in Natuf Valley was dated, I think, 14,400 years ago. So
I think it's a little younger. I think it's younger than that. Rakefet Cave, I think it's 13,500 years.
Do you mean Natuf or
Natuf?
Yeah, Natuf.
The bones.
Natuf, it was 12,500, before the Christ. So I think it's 2,000 difference. So I think 14,400 years ago. So I'm not talking about this actually. 14,400 years ago, that was approved that EM 123 was existing in Levant. After that time,
First of all, the sample, the Natufian sample, I really think is 13,500 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the date of it. Okay. But I think it's reasonable to assume, based on the Natufian culture, which starts at the end of the Ice Age, which is 14,700 years, that EM35 shows up at that time. And in fact, as I said, there's a movement of people across the Sinai that come into the Levant at the end of the Ice Age, around 14,700 years ago.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on this point. Actually, I'm talking about something else. If we assume that Z830 has entered the Levant, so M123 still existing in Levant and Europe since that time. And you know, actually, the European, since you specialize in European DNA, so you know, one EM 123, EM 34, EM 84. I mean,
those are descendants. Those are descendants of Z830, and I think that those came from the Levant also. In fact, we see them. We see them in ancient DNA. We see M123, EM123, 10,000 years ago in Ain Ghazal.
Yes, and also in Ebla, and also in Malatia. It's still existing, and we
but that's later. Malatia and Ebla are much later. They're thousands and thousands of years later than Ain Ghazal. Ain Ghazal is 10,000 years ago, and Ebla, the samples from Ebla are something like, let me think. So it's 2400 BCE, 2600. It's around 4,600 years. That's a huge difference between 10,000 and 4,600.
That means EM123 descendants, they still in the system. I mean, still in Levant. So we are not out of the scope. I mean, as they claimed, you know, some J1 radicals, they said all E's are African. So that's what they believe. And
I mean, you know what? All DNA is African, okay? You know, it's ridiculous to say that EM123 or EM123 originates in the Levant, but it comes from a migration of EZ830, which comes from Africa. Okay, but the J1 at the time is in the Caucasus. Okay, right? And G is also in the Levant too. There's no question about that.
Yeah,
right?
but Mr. Abdullah Al-Umri, he was saying that the date that EM123 exactly was 14,400. He claimed that.
No, not 4,000. No, I mean, I would say that EM120, it's not EM123, but Z830, Z830, I think arrives in the Levant around 14,700 years. That's the end of the Ice Age.
But if you check the WIFL, actually we are working extensively in the WIFL and upgrading our sample. I mean, for Levantians, living Levantians, are also for Arabs in Yemen and Saudi and Gulf Arabian countries. So basically, when we upgrade and upload the samples, we found something else. We found new branches has been introduced. Maybe you didn't update your data, but there is another branch from Palestine for Christian Palestinian. The branch aged 17,700. So this branch only you cannot find it in somewhere else in Africa or anywhere. It's in Europe and
what branch is it? So I haven't seen it in WIFL.
Yeah. It's
what is it a branch of? EZ830?
Yeah. I will share it in this page. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Okay, it
What
is
is
in
it
the
a
space
branch
now.
of? EC830?
Yeah. It's called Y31991. So this is 17,700. So that means the branch
Okay. Wait, let me
was
find it. Wait, hold on a second.
It is in the space, right? I just shared it. Yeah, it is in the space now. So it's Arabic, but you can't translate it. Yeah, you can see Palestinian sample. The new branch aged 17,700. So that means it's existing 3,000 before the remain in the Levant. So it's not.
Let me see. Wait, what is the name of the branch?
The whole branch named. Let me check. Y31991.
Okay, hold on. Y31.
Yeah.
EY319.
91.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I see it. Is it German?
Yeah, Germany and also Palestinian. The Palestinian guy, he's from Christian from Bethlehem. So that means that it's not limited to 14,400. It means it was much older than that, and we still learning. We might find another remain.
But the thing is, I actually don't think that I think that it wasn't one person, of course, that migrated. It was a group. So there were already these pre-existing branches that migrated 14,700 years ago when the climate got better, right? So I don't think.
But the migration wasn't 14,000. It's a bit older than that. If you just increase it to 2,000
I
or
understand.
3,000,
I understand. Yeah. I know, but I think that the problem is it was too dry for that kind of migration to cross over the Sinai. It was too dry until 14,700 years ago when it began to rain. The climate changed.
Okay, what about this branch? I mean, it's only limited to Levantian and European. If it's, for example, if as they assume that it's African or something, okay, find it in Africa. Find it in Africa, okay.
No. Hold on a second. I think the Natufians are EZ830 star, right? They're negative for sub branches. So they're right at the root of this, the Natufians, right? So I think that there were different branches of EZ830 which came in a group, right? And some of them went extinct and some of them survived. I think there was a migration of EZ830 people, but it wasn't just one particular branch. It's that the whole group, like a tribe, moved in and came from the Nile Valley or whatever over to the Levant with the Natufians.
Yeah, most of them migrated to Europe actually. We have also remain in Vikings, by the way, in M34.
يا مشروع احنا بنرقد عاد والله ما مطاولنا. الرجال في امريكا الساعه 8 في الليل عنده، احنا الساعه 8 الصبح يا رجال. Mr. Ted, thank you for your time. Thank you that you've been with us.
No problem.
We appreciate it. And actually, for us today, for you, it's going to be tomorrow to be joining us here in the space. Okay?
Okay, very good. I'll be here.
تويتر قديم ولا جديد بس؟
What is it? في صوت كذا ما ادري شلون طالع.
تويتر قديم ولا جديد؟
ايه لا تويتر لا يقول جديد. يقول ليش جديد؟ يقول الرجال من 2008 يقول ليش جديد؟ بعدين انت ليش غيرت الصوره يا اخوي؟ انت فيك يا اخي جننتنا
يا اخي. حطيت صورتي يمكن حد يعرفني ولا شيء.
يا اخي مزيون من يومك يا ولد
حبيبي والله.
اضخم
شهاده اعتز فيها والله.
اضخم اشوى انك ما انت بخنافر زي هذولي. بس اسمع ايش فيك تضحك انت يا اخوي؟
يا والله هذه مستحب فيك، الله يطول عمرك.
الله يطول لي عمرك. Ted, can you to be with us tomorrow, huh? Can
Yes,
you please?
yes. Okay,
Will be appreciated, okay?
But Ted, دقيقة هيزع. Ted, could you invite anyone he's against you in opinion, like other person?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know who has a different opinion. I have people.
You know, the people there in United States or any research guy, he want to give us
I
other
don't
opinion.
think that they have a different opinion. You know.
You have?
I'm saying I don't know people with a different
No,
opinion.
anyone. He's welcome to his
Okay.
Heyza space, yeah.
Okay. But I don't know people that have a different opinion, so you know, the people that I know have the same opinion based on the archaeology.
Anyway, you can add Heyza, and he's interested in to opening space and discuss the DNA results. So you can invite anyone from your side that he's welcome.
Okay,
here.
very good. Thank you. Okay.
Good morning from here. I'm calling from Kuwait. I'd like to thank Ted Candle to be here in this place or this space.
Thank you.
Yeah, our moderator is Heyza, and he's always opening those spaces for DNA results, and we are very happy to have you here. And yeah, we appreciate that you are being here, and we appreciate it more if you keep coming to this space.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you are very well known here in this part of the world, so everybody appreciates that you're coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor.
رحت
Okay,
فين؟
great. Thank you.
Thank you. It's fine for you. We're gonna talk in Arabic. That's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
على فكرة بس معلومة أنا بعطيك إياها هيزع. الرجال هذا ترى يستخدم مترجم حتى في الصوت، أنت يوم تتكلم يحاول يترجمه.
إيه أوكي. بس وضعكم في الجي 1 راح فيها والله.
ما عندنا مشكلة معك. أي اتجاه احنا
والله لا أبو غانم الحق قال الرجل خبير ومطلع على الدي ان اي وقال كلام كثير وكلام مرة جميل. في واحد من الإخوان أول حرف من اسمه عبد الله البركات العمري حاول إنه يجيب 10 أسئلة عشان يحصل إجابة ربع إجابة عشان تقف معه في الجي 1، لم يستطع. كانت الإي هي اللي إيش تسود المشهد، وهي اللي أخذت الإجابات الصحيحة 100%، وأثبت الإي إنهم هم الرقم الأصعب، وإن غدا لناظريه لقريب.
الوعد بكرة إن شاء الله.
الوعد بكرة وبنسجلها. وجمعوا اللي عندكم الجي 1 وجمعوا اللي عندكم
ذكرتني هيزع
وخلوها.
لا احنا نمشي ورا الحق
يا عبد الله. عبد الله انا اين يذهب العلم انا معه.
ايوه احنا ما في بس.
يقول لي الاي افرح لهم، يقول لي الجي افرح لهم.
ما نحزن يا اخوي يا هيزع، ما نحزن يعني. لا تحطني
يا ابو هيزع،
والله عرفناكم.
لا اترك عنك سوء الظن فينا يا اخي، احنا ما
عرفنا حقيقتكم. اتضحت الحقائق، كنتوا تدجلون علينا بالمعلومات، وان الابراهيميه اتضحت والاسماعيليه اتضحت، وان على الجي 1 وان الشركه تقول ان الجي 1 هم يا الله يا الله.
هيزع ما اتضح عندهم الا خندف.
ايوه والله العظيم صدموني. انا انصدمت.
هيزع استانس عليك مشروع الحين مزعطف زي ما يقولوا المصريين.
الطرح
ترى الكلام نفسه ترى ما
العلمي
تغير.
ما عندنا مشكله.
بعد اذنك اخوي حمد، الكلام ترى ما تغير. الكلام وش قال؟ الخلاصه انه الكلام والاستنتاجات اللي وصل لها بناء على الرفات البشري. الرفات البشري مع الاي، ما حد الحين ما حد ينكر الرفات مع الاي، هذه امر منتهي. بس في امور اخرى قد لا تكون. شكرا.
لا ابو محمد لا
لا يا عبد الله ترى ما قال كذا يا عبد الله.
القبائل والرفات، القبائل العربية الأصيلة والرفات لا تفصلها عن بعض.
كلهم
عبد الله ترى انت قاعد تلحن في الكلام يا عبد الله. عبد الله قاعد تلحن في الكلام انت.
ابو محمد ابو محمد انا اعرف انجليزي وشاهد، وانا والله لن ابخس احد حقه. الرجل كان واضح، قال الاي هي الاقدم، وهم اجوا الجي 1 على الاي، وبعدين هم البرو لانجوج اللي كانت موجوده، بعدين هم تعلموا، بعدين كونوا اللغه، بعدين نزلوا ايش على النورث. فالرجل كلامه كان واضح، وانا اتكلم انجليزي واعرف. اهلا يا صدام، اليوم يومك، اليوم
طيب
يومك يا صدام.
يا اخ هيزع اعطينا معك
لا
طيب.
لا
تخليها
مباراة. لحظة يا ود، لحظة صدام.
الشباب بس الموعد حق بكره عشان اللي يحضروا توهم جايين ما يدرون عن الموعد.
يا صدام
التوقيت متى يا هيزع؟
بكرة الساعة 4:30 الفجر يا صدام.
ممتاز.
صباح
الفجر
الخير، صباح الخير جميعا، السلام عليكم.
صباح الخير يا صدام.
صباح الورد يا صدام.
يا صدام جبنا لك الخبير تيد كيندل، أنا موجود معنا، وتكلم عن سلالة EM 35 هي الأقدم، وتكلم إن هم أصلا هم النطوفيين EM 35.
معروف.
ما قال 35 يا هيزع، قال زد 830.
طيب مو مشكلة، في الأخير
يبقى بالاخير ليش عبد الله يلف ويدور؟
صدام عليك. طيب صدام على
عبد الله
لو سمحتوا خلوني مع صدام.
لحظة
صدام.
لحظة يا هيزع، لحظة يا هيزع،
بقول لك اصبر، بقول لك وش قال، حقول لك وش قال يا اخي لا تستعجل. وقال ان الجي اصلا قوقازيين وجايين من القوقاز، وقال ان الجي ما جو الا قبل كم سنة، والاي اقدم منهم، والجي كانوا جايين اصلا على كفالة واقامة، ما دخلوا الجزيرة العربية الا باقامات، معي ولا لا؟ وكان الاي هم الكفلة.
لا دحموها دحم
لا
بدون إغامة. اترك عنه.
هذا الكلام الرجال واضح كلامه ولا لا يا صدام؟
كلامك صحيح، كلامك صحيح، كلامك صحيح 100%.
صدام انت ما سمعت شيء قلت كلام
سمعت. عنده مترجم فوري الرجال.
هيزع اخوي،
ولا يشهد الله علينا بكذب.
اخوي هيزع، الو اسمع.
اهلا
كلامك صحيح يا اخوي 100%. هذا الواقع يعني صدق يعني.
يا رجل شوف الخبير، انت ما تشوف حسابه عندنا.
خلي الخبير هذا معروف، معروف انه طالع منه، بس مش
معروف،
مش يستاهل.
والله ما يعرفه، والله تو شايف يقول معروف يا ريت.
لا والله، لا والله عارف يا هيزع، حرام عليك يا اخوي، بس انا طالع مش مستهزئ باخواننا، لا بجي 1 ولا بتي ولا بغيرهم يا اخوان، انا اتكلم
بس هذه حقيقه يا اخي، قوقازيين ولا لا؟
حقيقه نعم. نعم حقيقه
يا اخي
اكيد هذا.
وبعدين من اللي شاهد واحد خبير يا اخي، الدراسات اثبتت ان الاي هي الاقدم.
زغرطي انشراح.
المترجم شلون يترجم الحين هذا؟
الحين والله يا ابو محمد استمت يا ابو محمد، الا انك تطلع منه تنزع منه اجابه فيما تتفق معه، لم تستطع يا ابو محمد، معلش كنت ذكي والله في الاسئله.
بالعكس يعني قال الرفات، واحنا وش قلنا
والله انك
الرفات المعركه اذا اعتبرتها معركه فهي معهم،
والله
فرق ترى 2000 سنه ما هو فرق كبير ترى.
والله
يعني
يا ابو محمد كنت ذكي في
شوي
الاسئله
ترى
لكن
ممكن
لم تستطع.
تقلب الطاوله في لحظه ترى.
يعني 55,000 سنه قليله
يا صدام.
طيب 65,000 سنة قليلة يا
لا هذيك يا اخوي، على لو تبغى الايه بكبرها العملاق اكثر عن 80,000 سنه، اكبر عن الاف.
وجدنا عمره 240,000 سنة بعد.
وانت توصلنا لين ادم عليه السلام يعني.
وهذا شرفنا يا طويل العمر.
الاي والاف اخوان ترى، وتفرقوا
يا اخوي هيزع خل
كفو يا صدام.
طيب اصبر خلينا ناخذ ود خلينا ناخذ ود.
اصبر انت اللي تبغاه ود الحين، تبغاه يجي شايش الحين، شوشت راسه.
وليه؟
استاذنكم يا هيزع، شغل والوعد بكره ان شاء الله.
يلا لا وعد بكره،
خليك معنا اسمع ود الحسب لاب الحين بيعطي مشاركته، لا تستاذن.
يلا
يستاهل ود. عندك
صوتي واضح يا اخوان؟ صوتي واضح؟
ايه واضح
جدا واضح.
الحمد لله، لانه ممكن الشبكه تطيح مني في اي وقت. Mr. Ted, are you listening to me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. are you the Ted Kandel, the well-known scholar in genealogy?
Am I well known? I'm Ted Kendall. Yes, I don't know if I'm well known, but that's who I am.
Okay. May I ask you which haplogroup you are?
I'm G. GY. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly.
Come on, Mr. Ted. You are a scholar. You don't remember your haplogroup?
No, but it's a specific branch just for my family. GY53746.
Okay. Nice. So what's your opinion about the Arabic origin of the haplogroups J1 and E?
يا ود سألناه كل الأسئلة دي، لو قلت لنا احنا قلنا لك لا تروح تسأله، احنا الساعة 8
هيزع انا اكلم الرجال يا ابن الحلال.
بروح انام يا اخوي. انت رايق يا اخوي، انت تسألني انا بعلمك بالعربي ايش قال يا اخوي، انا بعلمك. وبعدين هو بكره بيجينا في المساحة هنا، تعال واسأله زي ما تحب، بس انا ابغى انام يا اخوي.
والله اشك انه مضروب، الرجال عنده 98 متابع بس يا اخي، واسمه هابلوجروب جي، والله اشك انه مضروب.
يا اخي انت داخل تحقق معه، هل انت فلان فلاني؟ ما يا اخي
والله اشك انه ما هو تيد يا رجال، يا ابن الحلال واضح من لهجته ما هو تيد. ايش بك؟
لا حسابه موثق من
تأكدوا من هويته يا ربع، تأكدوا من هويته. أنا أشك في الرجال هذا، ما معقول رجل عالم مثل حجم تيد الكندل يكون عنده 98 متابع. 98 متابع بس ليش؟
ما في داعي تكذب. لا بالكلام هذا.
سلامات يا ابن الحلال، سلامات.
يا ود ترى يتبنى العباسيين على BY2.
يا اخي دقيقة بو عبد الله الدلبحي موجود صوت تت هذا ولا لا؟ انا
وجالس يسمع
وانا عرفتك عليه يا عبد الله، صح ولا لا؟
يسمع الضحك يا رجل هذول هذا حيكون زمنه
كلامه علمي الرجال، معليش.
كلام علمي ايش هذا؟ يكون زمنه بفلوس يا ابن الحلال، يجي في مساحه طقطقه وفي ضحك كلها. هذا مفترض دقيقه عنده بفلوس، ايش بك؟
لا اخي زين خلاص ولا تصدق، ما هو تد، امورك طيبه.
لا ما له داعي الكلام هذا، يعني نتاسف له.
معليش يا اخي الاساءة، لو نعرف عربي الان يا اخي اسانا لانفسنا واسانا. ايش الكلام؟
السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته، صباحكم الله بالخير.
هلا ابو سنيتان،
كيف الحال؟
والله يا ابو سنيتان اسفين، تسمع مزحنا على الجي 1
ما في مشكله.
سنيتان هذا تد ولا؟
حيا الله ابو دار، وشلونك ابو دار؟ عساك طيب ابو دار؟ عبد الله تسمعني؟
عبد الله ابو دار
اسمعني.
ما اسمعك، راح
موجود لكن كيف الحال؟ عساكم بخير؟
الحمد لله. اسمعك كان المايك مقفل.
الله يحييك. لا ندمت. Good morning Ted, how are you? Ted, how are you Ted?
I'm sorry.
I'm fine.
Go ahead. Yes.
How are you? Fine. Do you know me?
Good, very good.
Do you know me? Abdullah, I was speaking with you last time with Abdullah Abu Dar. هذا تد يا
okay.
How are you?
How are you? Very good.
I hope you are fine. Okay. هذا تد يا شباب، أنا أعرفه شخصيا يا شباب، هذا تد أنا أعرفه. This is Ted. I know him. We are happy that you are with us in this space talking about genetic.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
ابو سنيتان احنا بكره بيكون معنا على الساعه 4:30 الفجر، اساس الوقت مناسب يكون عنده معي ولا لا؟ عشان الشباب اللي موجودين في الساحه يحبون يسالون، اصحاب المشاريع، احد حاب يستفسر يكون معنا. وانا طبعا اشكر اخوي وتاج راسي عبد الله ابو دار على ما قدم.
هيزع خلها عقب الصلاه مباشره، عقب الخمس يعني.
الشكر لله.
اخوي هيزع.
اهلين صدام.
اخر كلمه من عندي طال عمرك، وما حد يزعل
لا انت اليوم ما في اخر كلمه، انت اليوم الكلام كلامك انت يا اخي.
زي يا طويل العمر من دون زعل، مع زقرص مش هتقدر تغمض عينيك. سلام عليكم.
اذا تسمح لي يا اخوي هيزع تسمح لي اذنك يعني.
ابو سريتان سم
صبحكم الله بالخير جميل جود مورنينج فور اول. طبعا اصبح بالخير على الجميع كلهم. طبعا الشعوب كانت تصنف 3 اصناف: شعب مغولي، وشعب قوقازي، وشعب اسود او يسمونه الشعب الزنجي او كذا.
اسمر.
عفوا يا البحري، عفوا، نحن مو بزنوج يا طويل
يا
العمر،
اخي
نحن
خليك
بيض
او
وعيوننا زرق وعيوننا خضر يا طويل العمر،
انت
يا
يا
طويل العمر.
حبيبي يا اخي
نحن
اسمع يا اخي ما كملت
يا طويل
يا اخي
العمر.
انا ما كملت الله يرضى عليك، ما كملت الله يرضى عليك. انت احسن واحد في الدنيا، بس خليه يكمل الله يرضى عليك. عموما الشعب العربي يصنف من الشعوب القوقازيه، يعني هذا تعريف اجتماعي قديم من مئات السنين وآلاف السنين. وسلامتكم. صح ولا لا؟ ارجعوا لجميع الكتب، العرب والروم والفرس
اسمع
اخوان.
ابو سنيتان الحين ترى يدور صدام علينا، يصير يطلعنا قوقازيين الحين.
ترى للعلم، يعني للعلم اعطيك معلومه يا ابو راكان وهنا اخوان الكرام، طبعا في شباب من ابناء الاي الكرام يتبنون الاصل الاوراسي للسلاله اي ام 35 بالذات، وانها جاءت من البذر الاوراسي، صح ولا لا؟ صح ولا لا؟ طيب الباس الاوراسي وين مكانه؟
فلسطين.
في القوقاز. لا القوقاز.
لا الجزيرة العربية.
لا القوقاز. حتى الام 35 حتى الام 35 اي ام، حتى الام 35 اللي تبنوه مولدها في اسيا قوقازيه، يعني معك لابد من قوقاز ولو طال الزمن.
ابو سليمان احنا متفقين المنبع السلاله اي 35 هي جبل الحبوس والشحوح في الامارات عند صدام.
ولا اشهد
هو منبعنا.
ولا اشهد.
بس بو صنيتان الله يطول عمرك، بس في معلومه انت ما كنت معانا في المساحه، كانت قبل كم من ساعه.
ما اسمع يا عبد الله، ما اسمع.
صوتي واضح الحين؟
انا اسمع.
لا امزح عليك يا عبد الله، ما فهمت قصدي، يعني اقول ما اسمع، يعني ما ابغاك تقولها.
من اللي يقول ما اسمع؟
انا اقول ما اسمع.
جو هيد عبد الله، جو هيد.
في معلومه تو ذكرها تيد، ان بالنسبه للمدافن في حوص الرفات اللي في الشباب سالوه، قال حاليا في اظني حصلوا الجي جوجل في شبه الجزيره. سالناه قلنا له في اي دوله بالضبط، قال ما اقدر اصرح.
يا جماعه السلالات،
هذه معلومه انا اريد اوصلها.
مضبوط. شوف طال عمرك، السلالات افرع الاف وافرع الاي قديمه جدا جدا، عشرات الوف السنين، وتواجدها مؤكد. الكلام فقط على التكتلات الموجوده اليوم. ما هو اكبر التكتلات الجزريه العمر الموجوده اليوم وباقي اليوم؟
يا ابو صنيتان الله يطول عمرك، انت عارف وسيد العارفين. زين احنا ما نريد نتكلم عن التكتلات. كل سلاله بيكون فيها تكتلات، وكل سلاله اخبر بعمرها، تسوي مشجرات، ترتب امورها، تبى تطلع اعمارها ابراهيميه. كل واحد يقول الكلام اللي يرضيه، صح ولا لا؟ لكن احنا نتكلم بشكل عام. يعني هذه الحين ان شاء الله باذن الله تكون بادره، يعني ان يكون البحوثات تزيد والنتائج مال الرفات تزيد في دول الخليج. عرفت كيف؟ زين، بس انا بوصل لك المعلومه، يعني ان ما ادري انت تدريبها ولا لا.
والله انا سمعت ان في المؤكد الار 1 بي، وسمعت بالجي جوجل، وسمعت بغير.
في الجي جوجل حاليا. تيد you said that you mentioned that there is a G Google. it is رفاه بالانجليزي شو جراب او شو اسمه؟
remains.
Ted, you mentioned that there is remains in from G Google Hebel group in Gulf area, yeah? Ted يا سيطريق هذا شو؟ Ted, Mr. Ted.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned that there is شو بالانجليزي there is in the Gulf. The Gulf area, there is G Google G Hebel group. There's remains. They found it now, and you didn't mention the country.
Yeah, I didn't mention the country. That's right.
What is your reason you didn't mention the country?
It's not published. I was told not to say until it comes out in a paper.
Who will make it out to the paper? Which organization?
I don't know.
Okay, how do you know the news if you don't know?
I was told privately.
Oh, okay. There is any mention, any names he told you? You can say it.
No.
It's private. private يقول لك خاص.
قال no يعني لا.
Okay, you can invite this guy to our space. Maybe we can discuss with him.
Okay.
يلا تمام. المايك لكم يا شباب.
خلاص السلام عليكم.
هيزع سؤال هيزع.
مداخلة أخوي هيزع.
تفضل يا صدام تفضل.
ما يصير 3 مرات يقدمون.
عطنا الدور الحين.
بدون مجاملة. أقدم سلالة في الشرق الأوسط، أرض الEM 35 الجزيرة العربية، بلاد الشام، بلاد الرافدين إلى شمال أفريقيا بلا منازع.
ومع قوقازية لا مش حتغمض عينيك يا صدام. هيزع اصرف
القوقازية ربعنا واخواننا يعني بالاخير.
انت لا تقول قوقازية، ابو سنيتان اقر في القوقازية، لا تقول شيء ثاني يا صدام.
سؤال. I have a question to Ted Kandel, please. You have done a lot of research on the genetics and the haplogroups. Can we know which haplogroup is the most you are interested in?
Say it again, what?
I'll say it again. I have a question for you about your interest in which haplogroup you are interested in, and which one is studied by Ted Kandel most as a haplogroup.
I study a lot of G, haplogroup G, Google.
So, are you in any way have any studies about J1?
The same thing that everybody else has read. I do have information from ancient DNA about J1. Yeah.
Could you share the main topics about J1?
I have a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet that shows the most ancient J1 samples, and that includes ones from north of the Caucasus and east of the Caucasus, as far north as Karelia and Mongolia. In the Karelia hunter-gatherers and Mongolian Mongolia and also
Mongolia.
Yeah, there's one from Mongolia. You didn't know that? There's an ancient J1 in the Bronze Age.
Thank you. J1 from Mongolia, yes?
J1, yeah, there's a J1 from Mongolia in a particular branch.
Thank you. I'm very happy. This Mongolia J1.
And also Turkmenistan as well.
يا شباب ما له داعي الضحك، لان الانسان يشوفكم تضحكون، هذا ياس يعطيكم معلومات علميه وانت ياس
يا اخي خلينا نروح لشبلي شبلي طيب.
Karelia, right? You know where Karelia is?
Yes,
Karelia
yes.
is part of, yeah, there's J1 in Karelia, ancient Karelia.
Where is it, this Karelia?
It's the part of Finland that became Russia.
Oh, yes.
يعني وصلت مليون روسيا ما شاء الله. J1 خطيرين صراحة.
تركت فنلندا يا صدام واخذت روسيا.
إذا حنا الروس السواد من وين جانا؟ من الشعب اللي كان أعطانا السواد هذا السمار.
لا السواد يا طويل العمر ما يخص خط السواد.
إذا تحاول تسقط السواد على السلالة أيام 35 ترى الرفات اللي قبل 17,000 سنة موجود، وموجودة لون البشرة وموجودة لون العينين، يعني البياض موجود فينا من أول.
يا أخي أنا أمزح مع الربع.
اللون الأسود الزنجي ترى كان موجود في الأوروبيين، وفي رفات قديمة مع السواد يمكن جاء منكم.
لا بعطيك معلومة ذلبحي، بعطيك معلومة
موجود صدق.
عطى المجال هيزع.
معلومة يا شباب.
شبلي الحين دور شبلي. معليش
معلومة بس.
معلومة الحين شبلي
معلومة يا عبود حبيبي. لحظة عبادي صبر. أول بشر بيضت بالعالم، أول بشر بيضت بالعالم هي سلالة وهي دخلت البياض للأوروبيين، وأول عيون ازرقت واخضرت هي يا أخوان يعني.
ما تهونون.
مفارقكم والله ما ظنيت.
اطيب لي فرصه.
لا الانسان يا ابو صنيتان لا تقول ما ظنيت، ترى الموضوع ما هو طقطقه. الانسان شدر الاوروبي فحصوه بشرته كانت سوداء، وهو على السلاله كان اعتقد من سلالات السلاله اف. فالبياء او فحصوا الرفات اللي موجود في النطوفيين كان ابيض البشره، معناته ان قد يكون السلالات اف هي اللي نقلت البشره السوداء. فهمت كيف؟ فالمساله عكسيه.
لا تمام.
الجي 1 اقرب للافارقه مننا احنا.
دقيقه.
لا دقيقه يا اخوان،
لو تشوف
ترى
السلالات
لون البشره دقيقه
السلاله اف لو تشوف اللي في استراليا اللي في استراليا
وبس والباقي خص.
معلومه بس
وبس والباقي خص.
يا جماعه الخير، بالنسبه للون البشره زين، ترى الجسم البشري يتكيف على طبيعه الارض والمناخ اللي عايش فيه. يعني لو فرضنا ان في سلاله عاشت 100 سنه فرضا في اوروبا وكانت بشرتها مثلا سمراء، زين بتتغير، بتتكيف على الارض. عرفت كيف؟
كلام معروف.
كلامك صحيح يا ابو حميد، كلامك صحيح.
يعني هيزع ممكن اذا عاش بجو حار.
هيزع يا طويل العمر.
يا شباب معليش بعد اذنك هيزع.
عبد الله
يا شباب خلنا نعطي سؤال لشبلي. يا اخي شبلي يزعل علي والله، غالي علي شبلي صراحه. تفضل يا شبلي تفضل.
زيد فضلك الله يخليك، والله انت عزيز وغالي.
استاذ شبلي بعد اذنك استاذن انا، والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.
السلام. I just realized you live in Tucson, Arizona, so you're my neighbor. I would like to invite you to my house.
صوتك راح يا شبلي، ما عاد هو موجود.
لو سمحت يا هيزع، لو سمحت.
هلو
يا شباب. انا والله ابغى
الاخ صدام عنده بس هو مقبول له حق الرد يعني.
بس دقيقه ما كمل يا جماعه، ما كمل.
لو سمحت هيزع اخوي،
خل شبلي يخلص نرجع.
ثواني بس ثواني. طال عمرك اقدم سلاله واخطر سلاله طال عمرك الاي، ودخلت اوروبا قبل الاوروبيين. هذا الاي لحظه مش ملائكه يا ابن الحلال. دخلت اوروبا باوقات سحيقه جدا، هي اللي دخلت البياض للاوروبيين. يا جماعه الخير افهموا العلم عدل، يعني في ناس حافظه ومش فاهمه. السلام عليكم.
بس في نقطة بتطرق لها قبل شبلي. إذا في شخص أوروبي مثلا عاش عندنا في الخليج ونسله عاش عندنا في الخليج ل 100 سنة على الشمس هذه الحارقة ودرجة الحرارة اللي توصل 40، أنت تتوقع أن يعني نسله بعد 100 سنة أنه يكون فيهم سمار؟
هذه معروفة عبد الله.
لا مو معروفة، لا مو صحيح. لا
معروفة، لا والله معروفة.
إذا ما تزاوجوا مع أناس سمر راح يحتفظون بلونهم، لأن لون العين صل على النبي.
مو بشرط يا سالم، مو بشرط يا سالم حبيبي.
صل على النبي، لأن الزرع. يا الربع اسمحوا لي، أنا والله مضطر استاذن، عندي شغل وعندي ذا، فلذلك أنا عازم تد في هذا. فإن شاء الله على الساعة 4:30 الفجر أو 5، 4:30 5. فلذلك الله يحييكم على مساحتي وتسألونه وتاخذون راحتكم معه، لأنه هو بعد أول يقول أنا عندي شغل أو شيء زي كذا. عرفت؟ اسمحوا لي والله إني أبغى أنام. اسمحوا لي.
موفق خير وتصبحون على خير يا شباب. ثانك يو تيد. باي باي. في امان الله.
ثانك يو
ثانك يو دلبحي. ثانك يو حبيبنا الدلبحي. ثانك يو.
ويلكم حبيبي صدام عاش الرئيس.
اوكي سي يو تيد tomorrow or tomorrow ان شاء الله.